Hey, Ethan here, and in this episode we'll be looking at the original Legend of Zelda on NES. It's the start to the legend that we know today, and now it's time for some brief development history.
The Legend of Zelda was developed by Nintendo's Research and Development 4 division. The project began in 1984 and was being developed at the same time as the original Super Mario Bros. It was created by Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto and Takahashi Tezuka. Miyamoto was the producer and Tezuka wrote the story. Miyamoto took inspiration from his adventures around Kyoto as a young boy. It was then originally released for the Famicom Disk System in Japan on February 21st, 1986, back when Nintendo was all about releasing their games on these proprietary floppy disks instead of Famicom cartridges. Because the Famicom disks offered greater audio, no need for passwords, and were cheaper to manufacture compared to cartridges. By the time The Legend of Zelda came to North America, it was released on the now iconic golden NES cartridge with a battery inside, allowing the player to save their game without a password. The release date was on August 22, 1987 here in North America for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. Since then, it has been released on multiple Nintendo consoles over the years, with the version on the NES Classic being the version that I will be playing. I first played The Legend of Zelda in the summer of 2018 and got decently far but never finished it, but I think it's time that I finally beat The Legend of Zelda. The story of The Legend of Zelda is mostly told from the manual in the title screen if you wait a few moments. It's about the small kingdom of Hyrule, which has been invaded by Ganon, the Prince of Darkness who stole the Triforce of Power, part of a magical artifact that contains great power. Princess Zelda splits the Triforce into 8 fragments, trying to prevent Ganon from getting the Triforce of Wisdom by also hiding the pieces in 8 different dungeons, but she is eventually captured by Ganon. A boy named Link, or whomever you want to call him, is tasked with saving Hyrule by first finding a cave with an old man inside, saying it's dangerous to go alone, take this, as he hands Link a sword. Then after that, it's all about going through 8 various dungeons, collecting pieces of the Triforce and defeating bosses to eventually fight Ganon in his hideout in Death Mountain and rescuing Princess Zelda, and that is basically the story. The gameplay of The Legend of Zelda has Link going around the large map of Hyrule, taking out various enemies such as the Octoroks, Moblins, Peahats, Levers, Winos, Salfos, Kishi, Gildos, Gels, and Darknuts for a few examples. Link also goes around the map to find various weapons, items, health upgrades, and currency called rupees to help the player make the quest easier when facing the 9 levels. There are also a lot of items, so here they are. There are also secret areas to find special items, and you can also yell into the mic on the Famicom to have enemies disappear. The graphics of The Legend of Zelda look very basic for the NES, but aren't the worst, but it actually runs pretty good and looks great on the NES Classic Edition.
And that is The Legend of Zelda on NES, the game that started The Legend of Zelda as we know it today. Even though it could be a bit difficult at times, it is still enjoyable. But remember that it is dangerous to go alone.